The client custom attributes are a simple but really powerful way to extend SPS to work around your unique practice. For example, you may want to keep track of which of your customers have signed up for your practice newsletter. By adding a custom attribute, you can record against each client whether or not they've signed up. You could then run a report against these clients or use the letter writing facility to mail merge an address list. This window lists any attributes I've set up. I don't have any as of yet, so we'll come back to this in a bit. Click New to add an attribute. I can choose a name and a type. For the name, you're going to want to choose something meaningful. In this example, I'm going to show how you could keep track of which financial reporting standard a company client has adopted for their accounts production. This would be useful in a situation like we've seen recently with the transition to FRS 105 reporting. A practice might want to keep track of where they've got up to with transitioning clients to the new standard. And I want this type to be a list. I'm going to add values to this, and when I get to the stage of editing my company clients, I'll be able to assign them an item from this list. And now I'm going to populate this list with the various standards I want to keep track of. With them all added, I can close this window. This custom attribute is now listed in this grid. I want this to be available to my company clients only. In the client preview, you can see the custom attributes header, but there's nothing in there yet. That's because although we've set up an attribute at a system level, we haven't added a value for this particular client. I'm going to do that now. And here is the attribute I've set up. I'm going to add a value here. To show how you can make use of this, I'm going to set my other clients up with different values. You can set values for multiple clients in one go. I'm going to select these and then set to Frizzy 2015. The custom attribute will be in this list. I called it Financial Reporting Standard. And now I can set the value. This selection I'm going to set to FRS 105. This selection I'm going to set to FRS 102 Section 1A. This selection to FRS 102. And this selection I'm going to set to UK GAAP. With all those set, I want to do something with them. I'm going to create a custom report that includes this attribute. This report is fairly useful as it stands. I've got a list of my clients, I can see what standard they're currently using, and I've got their year-end month included. This could be enough to help your practice plan activities around moving clients to the latest standard. But you can do more with this. Open the file in Excel. Select the data and switch it to a table. Then I'm going to turn this into a pivot table. Using this pivot table, I can now do some analysis. If I want to see at a practice level how many clients we have using each standard, I can leave this with no filters. But when I apply the partner filter, I can see how many clients each staff member has using each standard. and by using the filter on the standards, I can see how many are on a particular standard. The months across this row show me the number of clients who have a year end in each of these months. So to recap, we've added a single custom attribute to Sage Practice Solution, then used that to drive some analysis on our clients that we can use to anticipate and plan for busy periods. Now I'll show you another great example of how you can use custom attributes. This time, I'm going to create a link that will be used as a shortcut to a client-specific folder on my hard drive. And for this attribute, I'm going to make it available for all clients. I'd quite like to have this attribute appear at the top of the attribute list. So with that added, I'm going to add the path to the client folder for each client. I've already got the client folders set up on my hard drive. In your practice, this is likely to be a network location. This works just as well for those. To speed things up, I'm going to take a copy of this folder path. I've set these up so there is one folder for each client, and then a subfolder for each year. And now I can select all my clients, and put this base folder in all of them. I'm going to have to still tailor each of them to point to their own client folder, but doing this can save a bit of time, and if you're pointing to somewhere on a network, this could prevent mistakes. And like before, I'm going to find the custom attribute in this list, and paste the folder path in here. You can see under the custom attributes section on the client preview, I've got two listed. The first tells me what financial reporting standard this client has been set up with. The second is the link to his client folder. But if I click it, I'm going to be taken to the base folder, and that's not what I need. Instead, I'm going to edit this client and point this link to his client folder. In the client folder field, I've only got the root folder, so I'm going to append the rest of the client's path on here. I know it's his client code, and then the year 2016. Remember I said that for these clients, each has its own folder based on their client code, then subfolders for each year. And now when I click the link, I'm taken to the client folder and the correct year for this client. Another neat thing you can do with custom attributes is hide them. Let's say I want to start processing the 2017 records for my clients, and I don't want anyone to accidentally go into the 2016 folders. First, I'll create a new custom attribute for 2017. Then I'll hide the 2016 attribute. I can hide an attribute by moving it over to the invisible attributes list. This doesn't affect the availability of those folders on the network. This just affects the availability of the shortcut within Sage Practice Solution. Before I can use that link, I'll have to set up the actual paths to the client folders by editing each client in the same way I showed you before. And that's some of the good things you can do with custom attributes. Thanks for watching.